Here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream. Every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATB. Shout out to my boy DZ. Shout out to the ATB crew. Let me know if you came from ATB in the chat, guys. Hey, long time no see. Shout out to everybody from ATB. I didn't even mean to rhyme. It was easy. Anyway, shout out to DZ. But guys, today we got an amazing show for you guys tonight. Today we have an amazing show for you tonight. We are going to be taking a look at Bitcoin, guys. What is this thing doing? I want to go ahead and cover the newest short that we are in. And I kind of want to talk about that. I want to talk about some key levels of support and resistance. But guys, massive volatility is incoming, at least likely, with the FOMC meeting tomorrow. I will be live streaming the meeting, so stay tuned for that. We will be going live. You guys will see. Make sure you have notification bells. Make sure you have the notification bell clicked so you don't miss that that stream. It's going to be a good one. We did our first FOMC stream for the last meeting, and it was pretty dope. It was mad fun, and I got to hang out with the morning crew, the people who don't have, that are like sleeping during this time for the live stream. Get to hang out with the morning mafia. Super, super dope. So it's going to be fun. Make sure you guys tune into that tomorrow. But guys, regardless of me streaming it or not, it's likely going to cause a lot of volatility. Are we going to see a bigger move to the upside, or are we going to see Bitcoin continue to break down? Obviously, we have lost our 200-week moving average, which is more bearish than bullish, but we have to be ready for some potential fake outs. Shout out to Emax, said the intro, Frankie. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for that super chat, brother. I appreciate you very much. But yeah, man, sometimes I rhyme so easily, some people would call it a crime. Anyway, no, you know who's better at rhyming than me? DZ. I'm actually not kidding. DZ is very quick-witted and a quick rhymer. But guys, are we going to move to the downside? Obviously, you know, I just mentioned that we lost the 200-week moving average. Are we going to continue down here, or is this going to be a massive fake out? And are we going to get another move to the upside, targeting those higher levels at about $33,000 and beyond? We're going to be breaking it down. And yes, we're going to be taking a look at XRP, guys, as we did go for that breakout that we were talking about yesterday, but then we just got all that price action to come back down. We ate up all those gains, and now we are sitting back in that volume profile range that we were looking at yesterday for XRP. So we're going to be covering that, and then we're going to take a look at the altcoins. And without further ado, guys, let's go ahead, let's go ahead and jump in and say what's up to the mafia before we jump into the charts. I don't even know. Let's see. Yeah, John Davis said, stick to Bing Bong. shout out to John Davis. Thank you for being here, bro. We appreciate you. Stay calm in the house. Said inflation very low and no pump. What gives? And I'm going to be talking about that too, guys, because obviously the inflation does seem to be getting a little bit better, which would be bullish, but we have to be prepared for tomorrow's meeting because they can change their tune on this potentially during the meeting. So his verbiage, Jay Powell's verbiage in tomorrow's meeting is going to be very, very, very important. So that's why we're going to be live streaming it and just watching that 1 minute chart, waiting for that thing to either lift off or absolutely dump to the downside. But shout out to you, man. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Eric. We got all JR Crypto. What is going on, man? Or Al Jr. Crypto. What is up, FUD Expert? What is going on, man? Thank you for being here. We got Pedro in the house, and we got the Biomex super chatting ATB earlier. Shout out to the Biomex. I appreciate you for being here, man. We got Wick 589 Classic in the house. No, let's see. Shout out to Wick. We got Metabice, as always. Happy to have you here. Bison, what is going on? Derelict says, when Lambo Lambo's parked out front, baby. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. The Lambo is in Ben's garage, probably. But anyway, shout out to Austin. Shout out to Creighton C. As always, what is going on, bro? Thank you for being here. And without further ado, guys, I'll get a couple names in here last minute. We got Lazarus Hand in the chat. What is going on, man? Kenton Smith, as always, gifting those memberships on the regular is what it seems. Shout out to Kenton Smith. We appreciate you. And Crypto Pollo, he is at the house. He is at the House meeting on crypto regulation tomorrow. Shout out to Crypto Pollo. Thank you for being here, bro. Or Bitcoin Chicken, as we like to call him. Shout out to you, man. Darren does things in the house. And Tubba Rock. What is going on, man? Thank you for being here. Guys, with all that being said, we said what's up to the Mafia, and we got plenty to look at on the charts today. So let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Here we go. Shout out to Zeus says the CandleMafia is like no other. Absolutely. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for being here. Shout out for my birthday, Brad Guidell. Oh, Brad, we're singing happy birthday to you, bro. Everybody raise up your Aztecian cactus moss water in honor of Brad Guidell's birthday. I did not know it was your birthday, bro. And let's go ahead and sing a little bit of happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Brad Guidel, but I say Guidell because that's how I say it. Happy birthday to you. Shout out to Brad. I love you, bro. Thank you for being here. Absolute OG of the channel. Happy birthday. I hope you have the best day. And many, many, many healthy, happy more. Salud, my friend, my paisan. Brad in the house. Happy birthday. Let's go. All right, here we go, guys. We are not going to start off on, oh, hey, shout out to bullishsauce.eth. Said #1 fan. Shout out to bullishsauce.eth. I appreciate you for always being here and sending that $10 super chat. I do appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the charts here, guys, because things are interesting. Okay. So I kind of want to just come up to this cleaner chart, and I do just kind of want to break down what we're looking at here, right? Before we break into the local TA. Now, obviously, guys, we're looking at this macro range, right? We've lost the macro range. We've lost the 200-week moving average. Excuse me. We've lost the 200-week moving average, which is definitely more of a bearish sign. And but one thing we're realizing, we talked about this yesterday, guys. It's honestly kind of brutal right now. Price has not really done too much, but you guys can see here, we have this somewhat of a falling wedge coming in here. And we were sitting right here at that support level that is the downward sloped trend line. And this is why we were not getting overly bearish at this level, right? Because not only do you have this downward trending this downward sloping trend line, but you also have this level here, which is basically between about $25,300 and $24,835, which is our next major level of support, right? And more specifically, I want to take a look at this $25,200 level, which I'll dig in a little bit more into where I got that level from in a minute. But these are basically, this blue box is the next move or the next level of major support to the downside if we wind up breaking down below this falling wedge. But the thing to realize here, guys, is even if we do come out of this wedge, this is a bullish pattern, right? This is a bullish reversal pattern. Typically, price will coil up, and then finally you get your break to the upside. And we need to be prepared we need to be prepared for this move, right? If it does wind up happening. So if we do get a move back to the downside, I will be looking for some support down at these levels, more specifically at that $25,200 level, to potentially get that bigger bounce to the upside, potentially getting us back above this value area low at 26,300 or 26,238. And then obviously if we get above there, we can start looking up towards the point of control and then potentially the value area high, which is coming in right now at about $28,716. So that's the bullish case, right? And as you guys know, we were looking for that green dot to print on the daily last night, but it hasn't really done anything. It's kind of been flashing on and off all day long, and it's kind of been flashing on and off all day. Hey, shout out to Captain Kirk. Guys, we got Captain Kirk in the chat. I am kind of flustered because I just hopped off ATP. Frankie Candle, sponsored by Pablo Escobar. No, sponsored by Tony Soprano. But anyway, guys, shout out to Captain Kirk. I was a little flustered coming off ATB, so I forgot to shout out the mods, guys. Show our mods love in chat. Captain Kirk in the house. Shout out Brad Guidell for his birthday. Shout out to Brad and shout out to Captain. Good to see you, Captain. We love you. But Yeah, continuing on here, we were looking for this green dot on the daily, right? And it's kind of just been flashing on and off all day long, not really giving us a big move to the upside. We're actually in a short in the premium Discord, actually played out pretty well. So I'll go over that with you guys in a minute to show you guys kind of what I was looking at. But we're getting that green dot, and things have been a little bit wish-washy, at least at the end of last week and the beginning of this week. Things have been, things have been a little choppy, right? Very sketchy price action, choppy price action. But again, not really losing this falling wedge just yet. And if we do, I'm really not feeling too bearish until we start losing this blue box, and then we can start to think. I'm not gonna take this level from this Bitstamp chart, but I'm gonna take it from the Femex chart. There are some levels down here that are that line in the sand for me to flip more bearish, but we have to break, first of all, out of this falling wedge, and we got to break below that blue box for that to happen. But the question is, are we going to see this head and shoulders play out to that measured move, right? Which, if it does wind up coming down here, guys, I will say this would have played out, this head and shoulders would have played out beautifully with a breakdown, perfect retest of that neckline, and then a bigger move down to the technical target at about $23,000, which is the point of control of this range that I just realized you guys couldn't see. That is kind of the bearish case in my opinion. Like, if we are going to get a very big move down, that is kind of what I would be looking at least as of right now. But are we going to see that head and shoulders play out, or are we going to see that the falling wedge wind up breaking to the upside, right? That is another possibility we have to keep in mind. And with the way the higher time frames are looking from a technical perspective, I will say this, right? So, let's dig into, what we could kind of learn here from the charts. From a technical perspective, obviously, this is all going to rely on what is said in the FOMC meeting tomorrow. Obviously, it's going to be very reliant on that. But just looking at the at Market Cipher here, I will say your 6-day VWAP is slightly rolling back up. Taking a look at your 3-day VWAP rolling back up. Your 2-day is looking to come back towards that zero line with your money flow coming back up. But then your 5-day money flow is just crossed over into the red, and that is confirmed now, right? So this would indicate a potential longer-term trend to the downside. However, once that VWAP rolls up, we have to expect some kind of a bounce, right? So with the 5-day looking so bearish on the money flow, your 4-day is also starting to roll over with your money flow. Your 3-day is also coming out with money flow, and then your 2-day is actually starting to shape up a little bit here, right? If we do get a bounce here, guys, I do think it would likely be somewhat of a lackluster bounce, right? Until we see some of these higher time frames start to roll back up with the money flow, right? Your 8-hour is coming up here, but you can see we are starting to roll back down here as your VWAP is coming down. So once you print that red dot, that money flow is likely going to get sucked lower. Until we see a lot of this money flow really start to creep up towards that zero line, without a VWAP aggressively fighting against it, right? Money flow coming up on the 10-hour, but you're starting to curve back out, and your VWAP is coming against your money flow, right? So even if this was right at the line here, chances are that VWAP is going to push you down one last time before you get that real crossover into the green. So I will say this, some of these lower time frames are starting to maybe look like they want to shift the money flow back to the upside. But again, zooming into this, guys, you can see, right? What you really like to see on money flow is, let me see, right here, right? You're getting a nice curve to the downside, right? And even here, when you're coming to the upside, nice curvature to the upside. This is what you want to see for a crossover, right? Even here, nice curve down, right? Even right here, that was kind of straight up. But what you want to see is nice curvature, right? And we're just not really getting that just yet, right? We came kind of up. Now we're coming down a little bit. This is not what you want to see because you could come lower, right? So what you want to see is a nice rounded bottom curving up towards that zero line, kind of like we're seeing on the 3-day to the opposite spectrum, or from the opposite angle, right? Or the 4-day. See how this is curving down? I trust this much more than when it's very choppy and kind of curving back up. This is what you want to see, this nice round curvature to the downside. This is showing you that money is getting sucked out, right? However, with that being said, and then also you have the VWAP fighting against you. And again, once you get that crossover, you're likely going to get this thing, the money flow yanked back to the downside. So with that being said, though, I will say this, right? We crossed over into the red. We started coming out pretty aggressively. This could be the start of some higher lows, right? Maybe we start doing this. But you know, we could start. It does look like we're starting to roll back up. But it's a little too soon for me to kind of, you know, I would like to see what these red dots do, and then once those VWAPs start coming up, if money flow is still going in the right direction, that's where I would start to say, hey, this thing might start moving to the upside if it starts leaking into those higher time frames, right? So. Again, lower time frames starting to work their way up, but really nothing too decisive just yet. 6-hour blood diamond is not a good look. That is printing. It is not confirmed. So, yeah, just be careful of that. You want to see these confirm. Oftentimes, guys, these will at least, if not give you a decent move to the downside, they will oftentimes foreshadow a bigger move to the downside. You could see this first blood diamond didn't really do anything, but then you printed another one, and you could basically argue that that first one might have been foreshadowing that bigger move to the downside. Same here, right? You know, first one printed, you did get a move down. It's very unlikely that you get zero move out of a blood diamond, but you know, this one could have been foreshadowing this bigger move, and then that second one wound up dropping you. And now we are printing another one right here. So you don't want to completely ignore these blood diamonds. This is definitely more of a bearish sign. Shout out to Crypto Gideon. Says, hit the likes, fam. Frankie Candles always spitting the sauce. Shout out to Crypto Gideon. Yeah, guys, don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get, you guys get a spin on the wheel of pain and pleasure, where we've been giving away some good stuff. We gave away I think it was a free month of the BitLab Academy. We gave away 2 free memberships to my premium Discord for 1 free month. So, yeah, we're giving away a lot of cool stuff. If we hit 550 likes on tonight's stream, I will give away a Frankie Candles hat, and I'll spin that wheel 15 times. Let's see. Frankie's a good boy. He doesn't spit. Shout out to Creighton C. You should see me when I was a baby. Every time I'd eat the macaroni, this is actually not a joke. I should probably find this baby picture and post it in the Discord. Yeah, I used to just like grab the spaghetti and just throw it everywhere. I was a horrid child. But anyway, continuing on. Shout out to Lost Profit. Frankie, I need a hat. Well, hey, smash that like button. I know you already did Lost Profit, but hey, guys, help Lost Profit get a hat and smash that like button. But guys, 6-hour blood diamond again. Again, you know, I hate to be the guy that's just like, you know, beating a dead horse here, but I have to keep my same sentiment I've been kind of holding on to for the past 3 weeks that have been serving us really well, and that is leaning a little bit more bearish, right? Not saying we're going to 3K, but just leaning a little bit more on the bearish side right now. But again, being very aware that we're in a bullish pattern, right? Like, this is trading, guys. A lot of people might hear someone say that, like, I'm leaning bearish, and then someone's like, you're an idiot, dude. Like, they don't say it to me like that, but I could just hear, I see this said all the time, right? Sometimes people say it to me. They're like, you're an idiot, man. This guy's bearish, and there's a falling wedge on the daily, right? Like, yeah, we know that, right? But, like, just in the meantime, like, this is not guaranteed to break to the upside, right? It's more often than not they do break up, but it's not guaranteed, right? So we are aware of that falling wedge, right? But again, going to keep leaning a little bit more bearish and look to short those lower highs, and I'm going to talk about why that wound up playing out in our favor once again today, right? Because we were saying yesterday, we almost saw exactly what we were talking about yesterday, guys. And again, I do not bring this up to brag, right? I bring this up to show you guys, like, hey, remember we talked about this? Look how it played out, right? Then you could start to see this stuff on the chart yourself, and you can start looking at, like, all right, Frank. Usually when Frankie's looking at this stuff, you know, he says it's going to go down here, and you could start keeping an eye on this, and naturally you will pick it up. You'll pick it up naturally, right? And you'll start to see these things yourself, and you'll be able to test them over time, right? This is why we go back and look at this stuff, just to teach you, right? So we're going to be going over that in just a second. However, yeah, blood diamond on the 6-hour, definitely a little bit more bearish, and again, money flow, guys. Money flow coming back out here, right? So, again, like, really need this. We really need this money flow to start coming up. Now, coming up to the 5 hours, really where money flow starts getting interesting here, because the lower we go on the time frames here, you'll see that the money flow actually starts to look better and better and better. So 5, which makes sense, right? Because a lot of times, if you have money flow cruising back to your upside, to the upside on the lower time frames, that is likely going to start creeping into these higher time frames, and that's basically what we want, right? So 5-hour time frame, money flow is definitely headed in the right direction, but zooming in here, you can see we got a rejection here a little bit. But again, we could easily see, like, I like this a lot better. And the reason being is because not only is money flow cruising to the upside, even though we got rejected here, if this starts to round up, look at, I mean, I guess you could consider this confluence. If this starts to round up like this, this VWAP is already below the zero line and is probably going to flip back up pretty soon. And if you could get that money flow to cross over with your VWAP, that is when money flow looks good. And again, the big reason that I would feel better about this, rather than the money flow on something like something like this, right? Something like the 2-day, no, I'm sorry, not the 2-day. Something like the 3-day is, your money, or no, what are we looking at? The 8 hours, what we're looking at. The reason why I feel better about the 5-hour money flow than the 8-hour money flow is because this money flow is coming back out and your VWAP's coming down, right? So you got like two things fighting against you. Money flow is already coming out and the VWAP's likely to push it back down with it. But on the 5-hour, you have the opposite, right? You're curving up with your money flow and the VWAP is curving up as well. And just like on the 8-hour, the VWAP would drag you into the red, this VWAP might wind up dragging you into the green, which would make sense for a bounce back up to at least the high of this falling wedge, which we'll talk about in just a second because the confluence is just unbelievable here, guys. So let's continue on here. 4-hour, kind of the same deal as the 5-hour. Definitely, not as clear here, but definitely cruising in the right direction here, right? You got a low here, higher low here, higher low here. I guess that's, yeah, technically a higher low, and now we are starting to work our way back to the upside with our money flow. So, and again, VWAP also underneath the zero line, so that might help you as this VWAP comes back to the upside. That's likely going to help you drag money flow back to the upside, right? So again, on the lower time frames, on the lower time frames, money flow is definitely looking a little bit better. Your 2-hour is kind of bing-bonging back and forth, but again, we've spent so much time in the red, and every time we come into the green, this was a fake out. I think we may be ready for, a cruise up into the green here for maybe, again, a move back up to our top of our falling wedge here. But basically, bottom line here, guys, is that the lower time frames, really that 4-hour money flow is something I'm watching very closely, as well as the 5-hour. This is something I'm looking for, because once we get that crossover into the green, I think that's maybe where we start to see a lot of these higher time frames start to fix themselves up as far as money flow, right? Then we get the 8-hour to maybe cross back over. At that point, we have probably already printed a red dot, and maybe we're printing a green dot, and if money flow is following that, it would show us that the money flow from the 4-hour coming to the upside was bleeding into these higher time frames, and that is what we need, right? Really what we need is to get that to bleed into the daily, because this daily money flow has been coming straight down for quite some time here, right? Basically, for the past week, money flow has been doing nothing but just bleeding to the downside, which again is one of the big reasons why I've been leaning short, right? So that's basically what we're looking at right now, guys. I am keeping my bearish sentiment in the medium term or the short term until that money flow starts to shape up. But we are on our way, right? Like, we're getting pretty close. I'm like still leaning bearish, but I'm open to the idea of maybe coming back towards neutral bullish, right? But not yet. That's very important to realize. It's not yet. Green dot looking to confirm here in about an hour and 51 minutes. Hopefully we can wind up getting that. But again, this has been kind of an elusive green dot. It's been disappearing, popping back up, disappearing, popping back up. But yeah, that's basically shout out to King Carlito. King Carlito, what is going on, bro? Thank you for being here. He says, I predict we break that falling wedge to the upside. And I'll tell you this, King Carlito, statistics would be on your side. So yeah, shout out to you, man. But let's see. But yeah, continuing on here. That is basically what I'm looking at, guys, right? That is basically what I'm looking at. Daily green dot, again, in the short term could cause that bounce, right? We're at the low of the falling wedge. Green dot is printing. Lower time frame money flow is starting to work to the upside. We may be looking for a bounce here. Now, where would I expect that bounce to bring us? And that is an interesting question, because there is somewhere I would be looking very specifically, and that's going to be, right, if we do get a bounce here, I would be looking to come up into this area to come back all the way up to the top of that falling wedge, which is in perfect confluence with a local golden pocket, macro-ish POC coming in here at about $26,900. And I do believe we have a local golden pocket there as well. Let me go ahead and pull it here from the high to the low. There you go. That area is right in between our golden pocket and 786 Fibonacci retracement levels, right? So this is a better place than any to come up and then reject from, right? So that is basically if we do wind up seeing a move up, maybe tomorrow. Again, the volatility is likely incoming heavily tomorrow. And if we do get a move to the upside, this will be a big area between about 26,631 and about 26,980 is going to be a big level to watch for a rejection, right? Because if we come up to some of these higher time frames, it would allow us to put in a lower high and just continue this downtrend, right? You have your high, your low, your lower high, your lower low, your lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. That could potentially, kind of wish we, that is definitely what I would be looking for unless the money flow turns back around, right? So that's what I would be looking at right now, guys. Now, I do want to come down to the lower time frames here and take a look at take a look at the position that we are in right now. Let me go ahead and pull up the short tool just so I can actually, let me pull this up really quickly. So this is essentially, guys, this is, let me minimize the, there we go. Right, so this is the short position that we are in with the premium Discord. And it was kind of a no-brainer trade, to be 100% honest with you guys. We were waiting for this setup yesterday. It did not present itself. But what did I do? We sit on our hands, right? What do? We sit on our hands and we wait for price to get to our level, right? I do not take a trade unless I get price to come into my trap. This level here, this purple box was my trap. Looking for a potential retest of this value area low, which I will bring up on another chart in just a second. But we talked about this on the live stream yesterday, right? And let me actually go ahead and pull it up right now. If I go ahead and pull up the... Let's come to a higher time frame, and I'm going to go ahead and hide this stuff, guys, because we talked about this on yesterday's live stream, right? And I do just want to cover it just because it's a great learning opportunity, right? So come up to a higher time frame here. We were looking for a potential bearish retest of this value area low, right? This was a big level. Not only did we have our macro value area low, once you lose a level like this, guys, oftentimes price will come up and bearishly retest it before it comes back down, right? Now, not only is this a value area low, which makes it a huge, right, a very important level of support, likely will turn into resistance when you're below it, and that is exactly why, one of the reasons why I was looking at this level for a bearish retest, right? And then if we go ahead and pull our Fibonacci golden pocket and 786 Fibonacci retracement levels, where we basically, this is basically our rejection zone, right? Like this is oftentimes when price comes back up to this, if it comes in at a nice lower high and you have confluence, this is oftentimes where price will reject from, right? So you have your 786 golden pocket and your value area low. So plenty of confluence to come back up here, wick in here, right, and then get a rejection. And that is exactly what we were looking at for this trade. I'm not going to talk about these specific confirmations, but we were waiting to come up here, bearishly retest. We came up into our setup. Price entered our trap. At that point, price enters your trap. At that point, you're looking for your trigger, right? Like you come to a key level and then you look for a trigger. And that is how we trade, right? If I get to my level and there's no trigger, I don't get into the trade, right? If price does not hit my level, I do not get into the trade. Yes, there are times where I miss out on a move, but I would much rather miss out on a move rather than rush in or FOMO in or get in too early and then get stopped out, right? So, I sat on my hands yesterday, right? What's today, the 13th? Yeah, yesterday at about 10 p.m., we came all the way up here. I wasn't going, oh, I'm going to short here because it's close to my level. No, I sat on my hands, and then I woke up, and we had come into this purple box, got our triggers, exactly what we were looking for. Like all 3 or 4 confirmations we were looking for, all set up perfectly, and then we looked for the short position. And guys, the reason I bring this up, other than to show you what we were looking at, is this was a typical value area trade. We came out of our value area high, which is right here. We exited the value area. Now price is overbought. And we ran into our big trap, right? Our level of resistance. So you're overbought. You run into your level of resistance. You get your bearish confirmations, more than one ideally, or more than, I'd like 3 at least. Get your confirmations, enter the trade, ride it down. And obviously, you're going to be expecting some kind of support on the value area high. So I would, you know, typically, I did not take profit on this trade, full transparency, but typically, I would take profit at the value area high because depending on how far away it is from your entry, this was about 1%. That's really all I need to make a decent amount of money, at least for my position size and leverage that I use. So I would take partial profit at the value area high. And then at that point, you now have context into what the market is doing. If you know if you break below that value area high, you're likely going to come down to the point of control at least. If not, you're likely going to come back down to the value area low. Now, what happened? You broke below the value area high, boom, you went right to the POC and below it, but you did not hit your value area low just yet. And as you guys know, price action is messy, and was it this, I don't remember the last trade we were in that we were going over yesterday, it was a perfect example, right? You break the value area high, you come to the POC, maybe a little bit beyond, price action's messy, but more often than not, you do wind up coming down to that value area low. I am not guaranteeing that we're going to get a move down to this value area low, but more often than not, it plays out. And if you watch the past 2 live streams that we did, you'll see that that played out perfectly, especially, with the Ethereum value area that we were looking at on yesterday's stream, which I did. Tony did share that clip from the live stream in the free Discord. I said I'll find the clip of us talking about it yesterday and post it in the free Discord so you guys could see exactly what we were looking for and why we were expecting that 1740 level to come in, and that clip is in the free Discord if you guys want to check it out. But right now, I am holding this trade. I am expecting this to get a move at least down to the value area low. If not, I actually haven't taken profits or moved my stop loss on this yet, but I should have. Do as I say. No, don't do as I say. It's not financial advice, but don't do as I do. But anyway, I am going to, after the stream, hopefully I don't get wrecked on this, I will move my stop loss to my entry or maybe into profit to the value area high, and then just look to kind of save myself a headache watching this trade constantly. But I will hopefully hold it till I either get stopped out in profit or if we come down to that final TP at the value area low, in which case I will lock in a little bit more profits and then hold the rest of it for a potential moonshot with my stop loss in profit, right? So it's a guaranteed winning trade, risk-free, not only risk-free, but it's really guaranteed win. But that's what we were looking for, guys, and we've been absolutely crushing it in the Discord. It's insane, but that's what you're looking for, right? You just set your trap, wait for price to come up to it, get your confirmations, and then again, the reason I really wanted to bring this up was just to press the volume profiles, guys. It's invaluable. It is a priceless tool that you can be using, right? Because once we broke below this value area high, I felt very comfortable holding this at least to the POC. So there you go, just a little trade update. But other than that, guys, here are the key levels that we're watching, at least in the short term, right? Let me see. Let me clear this. I'm going to clear this whole chart, and let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so coming on to the daily, right? Obviously, these are going to be the key levels, right? And tomorrow might get very volatile, right? So, like, I know that, this level up here, up here at like 28.6 seems really far away, but if we get some crazy volatility, we can move pretty quickly, right? And even when I bring up the lower levels, I know, down here at about 23.6, that seems like far away, but trust me, with the volatility that's likely to be coming in tomorrow, it's not going to be impossible to come down or up to those levels. So key levels of resistance right now, this value area low that we just bearishly retested does look somewhat like a shooting star candle, which would be bearish, but this value area low of our macro range is going to be key, 26,374. The reason this is key is because if we break above it and hold it as support, we may indeed get accepted back into this value area. And once you hold this as support, it opens up the door to come to the POC at 26,888 and then potentially up to the value area high at about 28,680. So this is a key level of resistance and could wind up, again, the reason you want to focus on this level is because you know that if you get above it and hold it as support, you know what's likely to come next. So definitely a very, very important level of support. I'm going to go ahead and label that as key, right? Because this is basically the door to 28K. We have to get above that level and hold it to get to 28.6. So that is going to be key, right? And on top of that, if we pull our Fibonacci golden pocket, obviously we do have, this is a little bit of a bigger range now, but I would expect resistance in all within this box, right? Because not only do you have the Fibonacci golden pocket and the value area low, but you also have the 786 and the POC and almost perfect confluence up here. So again, your actual key level of resistance is actually going to be that value area low for the reasons I just explained. However, if we get above that, you're not just completely off to the races. You still have all this resistance above you, and more specifically, the point of control at 26,863 roughly is going to be a big level, because sometimes, just like price likes to reject golden pockets and 786s, it likes to reject points of control as well. If we were to leave this area of balance fully and come trade in maybe this lower range that we were trading in from back here in February, let me go ahead and unextend that to the right. If we were going to come back into this value area from back here, by the way, guys, we actually today put into effect, we are going to fix, we're going to get some stuff off the screen here, and we're going to kind of move things around a little bit to make things a little bit easier to see. I'm going to make my box smaller so I'm not constantly blocking the chart. But anyway, if we are going to come into this new area of balance below us, a lot of times what will happen when you're kind of going from one area to another is price will come up and retest that point of control of the previous range as resistance before it winds up rejecting to the downside. And it just happens to be in perfect confluence with our 786 and then again that local golden pocket. So those are that's a major rejection zone. Key level that you need to hold as support is that level at 26,374, value area low of that big range. And then let's look at, and then obviously, guys, obviously the value area high is going to be another level we want to look at, but this is really the next immediate level of resistance. But let's go ahead and find some of the levels below us that we can be looking at for some support. So I'm going to pull up that VPVR. We're already on the daily, and as you can see, right here, guys, we do have a bit of a gap, right? We do have a bit of a gap that starts right about there and ends right about here. Right, so that is going to be a gap. We are likely, if we break this level, we're likely, it's not the biggest gap in the world, but we are likely to fall right through this level, right? So I'm going to go ahead and draw that as a box, right? So shout out to anybody who's looking to learn how to find key levels. Here's a small look into how I find some of my levels. This is not all of them, but this is just kind of general, right? And we've already dipped into this blue box. So this is, I would look, if we do get a move down, I will be looking for some kind of support on top of this blue box, or even potentially at the bottom of the blue box, because at the bottom of this blue box, you can see this next high volume node begins. So if price breaks down into this box, that is likely we might get a quick move down, but you might get a hard bounce on this high volume node coming in right here, right? So I will be looking for support within this blue box. $25,200 is kind of the main level I'm watching, basically the bottom of this blue box. For those reasons is why I will be watching that level. So if we come back down into that blue box, I will be looking for potential longs. But if we wind up losing it, guys, I will be looking down to some lower prices. And this level does move, or does move slightly depending on what exchange you're actually looking at. On Femex, if we pull this range, sometimes I don't even think this will move the levels too much. It does a little bit, but $24,300. This value area high is going to be very key. 24.3, another very, very key level. And again, the reason it's a key level is because it's a value area high. And we know that if we wind up breaking below that level, we are likely, right, value area high of this level, of this range, right? This is your range, that's your value area high. Now, if we break below that level, let me get rid of this volume so we don't get confused. If we break down to this level and we do not get a heavy bounce and we wind up breaking below it and bearishly retesting and we cannot get back above this level, I will be looking for a move down to the point of control, getting closer to about 23.4, right? So I will mark that out, 23.4, another very key level, right? Because this is another level where you could get a strong bounce off of. However, once you can't get back above that value area high, you're expecting a bounce off the POC, but you really are expecting potentially to come down to the value area low of your range. Simply treating it like a typical volume profile. So I'm gonna label this previous value area high. I don't think I have a previous. Oh yeah, previous POC, and I will label this one previous value area low. Right. So we're just looking at things in terms of ranges. I will even highlight this in white, so we know that that is a value area, right? So there you go. That is what I would be looking at as far as levels to the downside. These are basically the key levels I would be looking at, right? So, with that being said, let's pull our indicators back up. That is basically how I'm feeling about Bitcoin, guys. Being very, very careful. I am being very, very careful because tomorrow it is likely going to get crazy. So, and again, we will be live streaming the FOMC meeting. So we'll watch the craziness together, and you guys will either watch me either look for a trade, try to find an entry, or you'll either watch me make a bunch of money on a trade, or you'll watch me lose all my money in a trade. But I won't lose all my money. I only lose a small, measured amount of money because I use stop losses. Like you should too. You should be using stop losses. I will say this. Shout out to the CandleMafia. The CandleMafia out there killing the trades. However, sometimes we get people in here, and, I hear people, people always ask me, Frankie, can you look at Cardano? I'm like $70 away. $70 away. I'm thinking of Bitcoin. I'm like, right next to my liquidation point. And I always like looking at the coin, and I always like helping out as much as I can. However, I can't help but have an instant inner epiphany like, hang on. Why are you even near liquidation? You should never, ever be worried about your liquidation point because you should never allow your stop loss. You should always be using a stop loss. If you're using a stop loss, you should never have to worry about getting liquidated, right? So just shout out to everybody out there trading. Please use a stop loss because a lot of people are like, hey, Frankie, can you check this out? I'm stuck in a trade, about to get liquidated. Like, why are you about to get liquidated? That shouldn't ever be a thing. So shout out to you, but I am always there to help. I always do look at the coins, and I always do try to help out as much as possible. But then I always end it with, next time, use a stop loss, and that's the ideal situation. You'll never be in this situation again if you just use a stop loss. Shout out to the 751 people in here right now, guys. Smash that like button if you have not already. Every 100 likes we get, you guys get a spin on the Wheel of Pain and Pleasure, where we're going to give away a bunch of stuff. The more spins, the more wins. Spin and win, baby. Let's go. Bing bang. Shout out to the CandleMafia. Shout out to Wisdom A, said, Frankie, keeping it real. Good man. We going to take the trade with high leverage. Go big or go home. Lol, love it. SPX. Shout out to Wisdom. Kind of goes against the stop loss thing. But, hey, shout out to Wisdom. Let's go. But, guys, hey, I see the let's see. With that being said, hey, Dave Digital, how's everybody doing today? Is everybody staying in line, Dave? Let me know. Creighton, how's your shout out to Dave Digital. But, guys, that's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. Please be careful tomorrow trading. And, again, I'll be right there with you guys going through it with you. But, yeah, please be very, very careful. Let's see. Zamixel Crypto says, speak in the mic, Frankie. Shout out to Zamixel Crypto. I appreciate you for being here, bro. That is, like, the opposite of the comments I usually get. Usually, like, people are like, hey, stop screaming. But it sounds like maybe when I talk off mic, it's probably pretty hard to hear. I will try to keep it closer into the mic. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for being here, and thank you for pointing that out, because I never really think about that. Like, I look around a lot. But anyway, let's see. Jay-Z said, D-Gen says, stop loss. Never heard of her. Shout out to you guys. But, guys, we've been going for about 43 minutes. If you guys want to see your favorite altcoins, go ahead and throw them in chat. I'm going to start off with Ethereum, or Erythrium, as your grandmother might call it. Yeah, Rob, let's take a look at like 3 or 4. Take 3 or 4 requests. TA on ETH, Pedro Silva. Pedro Silva wants ETH, and I say, hey, call it Erythrium. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and jump into Ethereum, or Erythrium, as your grandmother might call it, which is hanging out at about 1730. Now, let me pull up the other chart here. I believe it's this one. A little bada boom, a little bada bing. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Ethereum. And here we are, guys, right? And yesterday, you guys know, I was looking at shout out to Pedro. I appreciate you for being here, bro. But here we go. Pedro asked for it. Pedro gets it. But you can see here, right? Sitting at that value area low. I'm not going to harp on this too much. I'm not going to go on a whole rant. But you guys know why we were expecting this level. It's the value area low of the range, right? We rejected the value area high up here. And hold up. Hey. All right, hang on one sec, guys. Let me pull up. I just don't know. I don't want to dox myself here. Give me un momento, please. Let's see. Ape. Maybe we'll check out ApeCoin. We'll see what we could do. Shout out to Crypto Billy in the chat. What does Frankie think of The pie cycle. Ooh, we should talk about that. All right. Let me go ahead and see if I can pull up. Let me see. Can I pull up the Discord? Is it going to be easy to see? If this is somewhat easy to find, guys, I will pull up the clip because I think it's worth looking at, right? Because it talks about exactly what we were looking at to see. It's going to be too hard to find. But let's just get back to the TA. But this is, we're sitting at 1740, guys, simply because it's the value area low. We were expecting this price to eventually come in because we lost the value area high. That's basically it, right? You lose the high, even if it's messy, you come to the POC, it's messy again, boom, you eventually come to the low, and that's what we were looking for, and it's exactly what we got, not because I'm a wizard, not because I'm better than everybody else, because of the volume profiles, and you can use these too. They are 100% free on TradingView, right? I have nothing to gain from this. But here we are sitting at the value area low, guys. What are we to expect from Ethereum in the next coming days? Well, right now we are printing a red dot on our 5-hour. It's actually confirmed. But what I would be looking at here, is that potential bullish divergence at our value area low. Right? Well, you have lower lows here. You have lower lows here as well. But generally, you're making lower lows on your price action in to your value area low, which is your key level of support, as your momentum waves are making higher lows. That gives you a bullish divergence and would more often than not warrant a correction to the upside. So I would be looking for a potential bounce here at the lows of the range. However, I wouldn't be betting the farm on it because of the way money flow looks. Money flow is coming straight out. And that's just the 6-hour, guys. I mean, the 5-hour, right? 6-hour is looking for the red dot. 8-hour is looking for a red dot. Your 1-hour has a 1-hour red dot confirmed. Money flow starting to come back out. So we are at support. So I wouldn't be getting super, super bearish. Like, I am not the kind of person that would short this move. I would rather wait for another push to the upside and short a lower high. And I'm trying to see if we could potentially get a move up here at some point. Your 90-minute, no green, yeah. I would lean like a neutral bearish on Ethereum right now. We could take a look at the local range here. I'll pull this new range. Yeah, I would look for potentially, I would maybe look at one of these more local ranges, wait for price to approach this value area low. I would look for bullish signals down at this local value area low, potentially get along up to the local high, in which case, if you are going to get a sustained bounce, you would basically be getting in at the bottom for a potential move back up deeper into your range to visit your point of control up here in the middle of this purple box at about 1818. So yeah, just simply looking at the volume profiles. We're at support, guys. I really am not seeing too much that would make me expect a huge move to the upside. I mean, you do have somewhat of a bullish divergence here confirmed on your 4-hour with your lower lows on your price action. Right now, this is long gone, right? I'm not expecting this bull div to bring you up. And it's there. It's not even really a bull div. There's really no signal here for me, but I will say we are at support, so not getting overly bearish. I would not be shorting here in hopes that we break down. That's not really how I trade. I would rather wait for a bounce. Potentially, this is kind of what I would look for on ETH, right? I would wait for a bounce potentially up to the local range and then look for short entries up here in case this decides to kind of bear flag out and break down. Other than that, I would just wait for a bullish signal at the support for a potential long position. Taking a look at the daily. Yeah, daily green dot never printed. Could be printing maybe at the end of today. But again, money flow just crossed over into the red. That would make me feel that if we do get a bounce here, it would likely be to put in a lower high and roll back to the downside, right? Do we have a golden pocket in confluence with that? Let's see. Let's pull the golden pocket. We do. We already have it there. It's not pulled from this high, though. It's pulled from probably this high. But yeah, you do have local golden pocket 786 up here in the middle of that point of control. So if we do get a bounce up, I would look for that to come up, put in a lower high, and then roll back to the downside. But right now, not too many crazy signals saying bounce or dump, at least right now at that level. I would wait, for me, I wouldn't even, I would be looking for longs only because shorting at support is not an option for me, even if it plays out. I simply don't short at support. So For the only option for me as a trader right now for Ethereum is to wait for some kind, either look for a long entry down here on a lower time frame in hopes of getting that push up into this purple box, or just sit on my hands, wait for price to push up, and then look for shorts at my actual trap, right? That's probably what I would be more inclined to do because of that money flow crossing into the red on the daily. That would make me lean more bearish. So I would just either scalp it up here, scalp it to this purple box, and then short it, or just sit on my hands, wait to enter my trap, look for the confirmations, and short it all the way down. So there you go, guys. There we go. That is Ethereum. Again, I would lean a little bit more bearish. You know, short-term bounces at the low of the range, definitely to be expected. But again, the money flow would make me think it would be a lower high before cruising back to the downside. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Shout out to Tony D and Rob the Crypto Snob. Is Rob here today? I haven't seen him. Let's see. I know because if he was here, he's usually very active. But we got Crypto Billy and Captain Kirk. I don't know if Captain's still here. But shout out to everybody, all the mods here. Hey, what's going on? Knuckle Buster in the house. Let's go. Dynastic Wolf says, Frankie amigo. Shout out to you, man. He says XRP. Jimmy with a stimmy in the chat. Bing bong. Hey, Jimmy with a stimmy. Is it stimulus check? I don't know. But shout out to Jimmy with a stimmy. Welcome in, brother. Good to see you. Throwing the money for Jimmy with a stimmy because he's out there giving us those stim checks. Let's get it. Shout out to you, man. Good to see you. But let's see. Shout out to Crypto Lady for showing love to the mods. Rob is in the mosh pit at Slipknot. Shout out to Rob. Let's go. Shout out to Slipknot. Shout out to Dave Digital. But guys, let's go ahead and move on to our next altcoin, which is going to be XPR. Oh, God, I so badly just want to come on here. Guys, when the bull run comes back and we have a bunch of new viewers, I'm going to mispronounce all the coins and see if we can trigger a ton of people. I'm like, all right, here we go, XPR, guys. I could just hear him. This guy doesn't even know how to say it. Oh, my God. That is going to be a fun day. He says Erythrium? Who says that? I hate this guy. But they'll still watch. But let's go ahead and continue here. Shout out to Sunil. Wants Hex. We can check out Hex. We haven't looked at Hex in a while. Let's see. Ziva Crypto says, I'm here every day now for the Frankie sauce. Let's go. Shout out to Ziva. I appreciate you, man. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, let's continue on here. Now, XRP, guys. Got a little Popsky to the upside. And you guys will know, we were talking about that low volume gap right above this level of resistance. Now, this is the craziness of technical analysis, crypto, and just financial assets in general. Show me the chart, and I'll tell you the news, right? And it's the weirdest thing in the world, but I'm here for it. Shout out to Jim Bennett, and I'm here for the TA on Ben, LFG. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you. But hey, Michael Snelling in the chat as well. What's going on, bro? He said, when do we hit 100,000? I say within the next 8 months, we hit 100K. But I don't know. It's a random guess. But guys, show me the charts. I'll tell you the news, right? We were looking at this level yesterday saying, hey, if we break this level, guys, things might start moving pretty quickly. Now, why did we think that? We thought that for a very specific reason. Not because I felt like if we broke out, we would pump. Simply because we had a low volume gap, right? I zoom out. We were looking at the more macro low volume gap. Let's come up to a higher time frame, right? Actually, let me zoom in a little bit. Look at this gap here, right? Look at this massive gap. So we were saying if we break above that level of resistance that we were sitting below yesterday, we would likely see a fast spike to the upside, hopefully leading us to that 60-cent level, which is our door to the moon. And we were comparing it to this move to the upside because that's kind of what happened, right? We broke into the low volume gap. Nothing was holding us back. We flew to the upside, and then we came right back down. And then, again, yesterday we were looking for a move into the low volume gap to get a quick pump to the upside. And what happened? We woke up, and price came to our level of resistance, broke out, and flew to the upside through the low volume gap. But it was really just because of the news that came out, right? So it's like, is it the volume profile that caused the price to move that fast? Or is it the volatility of the news? People trading the news? Did that push it up really fast? Was it did the news tell the chart like, hey, put a volume gap there, right? Like, isn't that just insane, right? Like, we knew that we get that quick move up. Was it because of the volume profile? Was it because of the news? Isn't it weird that that lined up? It amazes me. It's one of the most interesting things. It's one of the things that drives my passion for charts. But anyway, and now we ate it all back up, guys, and we're right back in the middle of the range. And where did we go once we lost that value area high? We came right to that point of control, and we are now getting a bounce off that point of control as we speak. So what am I expecting out of XRP over the next few days? I would be looking for, again, we're within that value area. I would be looking for potentially to just kind of sit around in here and range around until we get a decisive break above this level to potentially fly through the entire gap, coming up to our next level at about 60 cents, which is the door to the moon, because if you zoom out here, we have this volume profile from all the way back here in 2021 with our value area low coming in at 60 cents. That's where I got that level from. And if we get up to that level, I would expect strong resistance, but if we can get above it, I just talked about this on ATB, if we hold this as support, it will open up the door to potentially come up to our point of control, getting up to about 83 cents. Could XRP pump to 83 cents? Well, we just saw it almost break out, and then we got sucked back into the range. But I will say, if we break out of this high here, guys, I would expect decisively, right? This was kind of this was a volatile break, right? This is the hourly time frame, and we were only above this level. We were only decently above this level for about 2 hours, right? And then we just wound up breaking back into the low, below the range. So we need a decisive break here with 4-hour candle closes would make me feel a little more comfortable for a big break to the upside. 60 cents the next major target. If we flip 60 cents, I would be looking at 83 cents. I wouldn't say 83 cents. I would say between about 74 and 83 cents. Between 74 and 85, I'll say, right? We'll just keep it nice round numbers. But within this blue box would be the next stop if we can crack 60 cents and hold it as support. So the one thing I do want to take a look at these higher time frames with you guys, though, because I will be honest. I'm a bull. I'm an XRP bull. I want XRP to go up. However, when looking at the chart, this is slightly alarming. I will say this, guys. This is slightly alarming. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to play out, but we are potentially. Now, there is plenty of time for this to get invalidated. This is not even printing yet. We are potentially printing a bearish divergence on the weekly time frame, right? Or we may, right? We are putting in the possibility. If we print that red dot on the weekly and we wind up getting that candle to make a higher high, another candle to make a higher high, we could potentially put in a weekly bear div. Weekly bear divs are very, very bad. Weekly bear divs are very bad. Let me pull up Bitcoin. Let's look at a weekly bear div on Bitcoin. I just happen to know there was one up here. Right? Higher highs on your price, lower highs on your momentum waves. Top of the market. Top of the actual tippy top of the market. On that red dot to the candle. That red dot on that candle was when we hit 69K. And then the bear market started. No bueno. No bueno, guys. So naturally, when I see this on XRP, it makes me worry a little bit, right? Now, obviously, news can step on this. This is not printing. It's not even presenting itself, but I could just see it potentially setting up to print. Something I'm going to be keeping a very, very close eye on. So just keep that in mind. And then just in general, VWAP rolling to the downside here could potentially give you more another push down, right? And now the good news here is your money flow. Your money flow is coming straight up. But again, just like we talked about on Bitcoin, VWAP is fighting against that money flow. So we might get dragged back into the red before we come back into the green. But just be careful, right? Because I was looking at these higher time frames and I was like, to be honest, if all this, the Hinman documents were coming out and like all this stuff, like the case seems to be wrapping up, which if I had to guess is probably not, right? Like this thing could get dragged out for a long time. But if it does wind up coming to an end, which it seems like it's looking to wrap up pretty soon, take that with a grain of salt. I'm not saying it's going to. But if we finally get the results of this lawsuit, guys, I would like to see the chart set up in a massively bullish formation. It's just simply not here. It actually looks like it looks a little toppy on the higher time frames. 6-day, VWAP coming down, money flow crossed over into the green, right? So this is good for long term, but short term, we might get another pull down, right? But again, yeah, money flow can go down the 5-day. 4-day money flow coming up, but your VWAPs coming down. It's really the VWAPs I'm looking at. And as you guys know, right, like money flow is telling us a bullish story. Just starting to cross over on the 3-day. We just are looking for a crossover on the 5-day. 4-day is looking for a crossover soon. And your 6-day has just crossed over. But the VWAPs are coming down. And the VWAPs represent the ebbs and the flows of the market, right? Money flow indicates the longer-term trend. And then the red and green dots, or the VWAP crossovers, indicate the ebbs and the flows, right? So I would just be careful of another push down here before getting that big move to the upside if we are going to see that happen. The higher time frames look like they want to cool off. Doesn't look like they want to dump to lower lows. It just looks like they may want to cool off, retrace a little bit before that money flow continues the uptrend. So just be careful. But let's go ahead and continue on. And again, I'm just kind of expecting to hang out within this range. And I'm really happy this is played out, guys. Because look at this. We pulled this range from all the way back here and said, hey, these levels are likely going to get respected when we came up into this area. And I expected to get range around inside of this range for the meantime until we got that breakout. And we've just been respecting the value area high to the low, to the high, to the low, to the high. Now we could be potentially going back to the low. Money flow generally coming out on your 3-hour. Money generally coming out on your 4-hour, right? And we do have some bearish divergence here on the 4-hour as well, going all the way back to this candle, right? Higher highs on your price, lower highs on your momentum waves, and you also have the confluence of your money flow coming out as well. That is not the best look, right? Again, might be time to cool off a little bit before we wind up getting a big breakout. Not guaranteeing it. We've been wrong before. That's just what the charts are saying, right? VWAP rounding up here, so, obviously short term. May get may just kind of hang out in here for a while. But let's see. Let's go ahead and move on. He's the Dutch guy. I'm not Dutch. Shout out to Great and C. Javit the Barber in chat. Let's see. Oh, shout out to Javit the Barber. He says, question, I don't know what to do with my Gala tokens. They're like stuck on Coinbase. It shows Gala V1. I have not had that issue. Shout out to Javit the Barber. I wish I could help you out more than that, but I don't know why that would be happening. Maybe somebody in the Mafia has a little bit of insight on that. I would appreciate that, man. If someone could help him out, shout out to Javit. If someone could help him out with his Gala, I wish I could help you out more, man. I'm sorry about that. But shout out to Javit. Let's see. Michael Snelling said, Frankie, when does the Mafia hit 100K members? We want our name on that building. Shout out to Michael Snelling. I appreciate you for being here, man. Soon. Everybody hit that subscribe button. We're going for 100K. If we hit 100K by the end of the year, if we hit 100K at any point, we will get our name on the building at Hit Network, which would be amazing. Dutch Mafia represent. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. There he is. What is going on, Rob? Thank you for being here, bro. Let's see. Rob said, me before the concert. I'm going to be in the mosh pit the entire concert. First song kicked off. I went nuts. Didn't leave the mosh pit. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. He really is in a mosh pit. I like it. Shout out to Rob. Shout out to you, bro. Be safe. Don't get kicked. Didn't take them off before migration. Oh, interesting. All of our names, big sign. Yeah, we'll put all the CandleMafia members' names on the building at Hit Network, guys. But yeah, we're trying to hit 100K by the end of the year. So if you're not subscribed to the channel and you're sitting here, just go ahead and click the button. It's easy, it's free, and it helps us out a ton. So shout out to you guys. But with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and move on to our next coin, which is Gala. Shout out to Javit the Barber. Bada boom. Guys, you know what I was thinking about this the other day? I live stream for 2 hours a day, and I've never taken a bathroom break midstream. Ever. Very strange. It's because I don't drink water, but I feel like it's going to start happening because I just thought about maybe taking a bathroom break because I'm drinking a lot of water here now. So we'll see if we can keep the trend going, though. No bathroom breaks. No breaks. Work only. But anyway, guys, taking a look at Gala. Taking a look at the daily. Let's see. And here's a perfect example of why you guys do not want to front-run signals. Right here. I just assuming this is what we were looking at. I know this is what we were looking at because there's nothing else we would be looking at. But we were looking at a potential bullish divergence to print on Gala at this level right here, which is a 786 fib level, which would make a lot of sense to get a bounce off that level, especially with the daily bull div. However, we never printed the bull div and obviously did not get the move. This is why you want to wait for the green dots to print and confirm, not just print. You want to wait for them to confirm, because sometimes I don't even think we were getting a bull div here. We were just expecting it to potentially happen. And even if it was happening, you want to wait for that dot to confirm, because obviously if it was printing, it could have unprinted and then just dumped, right? So I just see that's what we were looking at. I kind of wanted to spit that, because this would have looked great, right? Like if you go into bar replay mode here, come on, there we go. If you go to bar replay mode here, like that's looking pretty good, right? That's looking like you want to get a bull div, right? Because you have your higher low and your momentum waves. But let's see if you print it. See, you never even printed the green dot, and you absolutely would have gotten wrecked, right? So you want to wait for your signals to print and confirm. But anyway, let's continue on here. Yeah, daily on Gala. Green dot confirmed. Gave you a little bit of a push to the upside. Money flow still coming straight out. I really need to see the money flow start to shape up here on the higher time frames, guys. 2 days starting to round back up. 3 day, kind of wish-washy, to be honest with you. 4 day, kind of wish-washy. 5 day, coming out. 5 days coming out. Gala absolutely crushed here. 6 day, looking for a green dot potentially coming in here pretty soon. Same on the weekly. 16-hour, ooh. Yeah, I would be careful with Gala right now. I mean, how much lower can this thing go, to be honest? We got a blood diamond here? No blood diamond on the 5 hour. That shocks me. I'm shocked. But let's go ahead and zoom out here. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we can really go much lower. I mean, we can. I'm going to be very clear. We can go lower. But I would be very, very careful here. I would be very, very careful. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking for a reason to say, like, hey, guys, it's about to shoot up. But it's just a 90-minute money flow in the green here with that daily green dot, which is now confirmed. You know, I would have been yeah, just nothing really going on here. No real signals. This one's hard to read, guys. I would be cautious with Gala. Yeah, looking for the red dot on your 6, 8, 5 hours printing a red dot. Your 12 hours looking to roll back over. Money flow on the daily looks pretty nasty. I would lean probably bearish on Gala. I would sideways bearish, because you're either going to get another move to the downside here, or like I just don't know how much lower you're really going to go. I would expect, I would expect a bounce here, to be honest. But the indicators are just not calling for it. Money flow is still coming out. I would lean sideways. I would lean neutral on Gala, to be honest with you. Take a look at the higher time frames. Weekly, looking for the green dot. I think a bounce comes in here pretty soon. I just think you might have to range around a little bit, maybe even get another little dump. But yeah, I would lean sideways. I would lean neutral on Gala right now. It's really hard to read. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Oh, God. I don't know what you guys are talking about in chat. I'm just going to pretend I didn't see that. All right. Gala's dead. Shout out to Creighton C. Let's see. Okay. Oh, boy. Oh, hey, mid-street. Oh, God, you guys are funny, man. That's what you guys are joking. Okay, I get it. Dave, you can't be leading the shenanigans here. You got to keep the CandleMafia under control during stream. We're trying to teach the people how to make money. Shout out to Dave. You don't want Dave to whip out his wrench. I'm probably just making it worse. Anyway, let's continue on here. I get it. I was going to the bathroom mid-stream. I get it. It's funny. You guys are good. Oh, God. We're talking about okay. Shout out to Dave. Oh, boy. Shout out to Dave Digital. Okay. Crimson Caravan Company coming in hot. Let's go, man. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you. Let's see. Miss your energy, Frankie. Back from my sabbatical. Shout out to Ben Evans. What is going on, bro? I miss you. He said he missed my energy. I miss you, Ben. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for being here. Oh, God. All right. I'm out of chat. I'm out of chat, guys. All right. Let's go ahead and continue on here. Let's see what we got going for FTM. I thought we said 3, 4 alts. There's 6 of them. 7 of them. Oh, my God. There's way too many. Okay. Let's continue on here. All right. Let's see. Taking a look at FTM on the daily, green dot is printing, so naturally I'm going to come down to those lower time frames and see what the money flow is doing. Starting with the 1 hour, money flow in the green. 90-minute. Money flow has just crossed over into the green. I'm going to put a vertical line and check if that popped up on our daily green dot. It did. Maybe ready to get a bounce here for FTM. However, guys, money flow is looking pretty horrific. I wouldn't say horrific. I mean, it's looking pretty bad, right? It's just coming straight out here. Not the best look. Not the best look. Yeah, Tony D said I did not hear that part. It's all good, Tony. It's all good. But money flow coming straight to the downside here, right? Not the best look. Green dot printing. Yeah, we are coming up to some decent support here, right? You got a nice high volume node right down here. Go ahead and mark that out with a horizontal line. There you go. Yeah, let me go ahead and pull some volume here as well. Let's pull this entire thing. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. I don't know how I feel about this range. This is a very, very wide range. However, yeah, I don't really know how I feel about this range. Let's go ahead. Yeah, pretty hard to read here. But daily green dot, 90-minute money flow crossover to the, I think you could potentially get a bounce here. Let me see where a golden pocket is. Let's pull the fib. Lost the golden pocket. Okay. Well, we are just nuking here. Okay. Let me go ahead and pull some of these previous range levels. Previous POC coming in right here. Previous value area high coming in right here. And your value area low coming in right here. So these are the levels I'd be looking at on FTM. And if we do get a move to the upside, I mean, hey, this is what you got on your side, right? Let's come down to a lower time frame. Let's come down to the 4-hour. I think you might get a continued bounce here because look at the gap, right? You got a nice little gap up to about, yeah, you got a nice little gap up to about 28 cents. So you may be able to, I would look for 28 cents to be your next stop for FTM. If you get this continued move to the upside, 4-hour money flow, look at that. This is what we're talking about. Look at the curvature on that money flow. Bing bong. Look at that. Nice curvature. VWAP fighting against you. So likely you will get VWAP come to the downside. Likely your money flow will come back out, and then they will both come up together. Overall, though, that is a decent sign with the money flow cruising to the upside like that. So I will, I'll go ahead and say that's a point for the bulls. Money flow not looking too bad. Again, on the 4-hour. Although I would look for a short-term pullback, right? This actually does look like some bullish consolidation as well. Not the prettiest. Not the prettiest. But, yeah, if we break above this level, guys, decisively at 26 cents, I would look for a move up to about 28 cents. That's really the next level I'm looking at for FTM. Let me go ahead and mark that out. Yeah, about 28 cents right there. I do think it is likely for you to get a move up there. You know, once that 4-hour cools off a bit, and that 2-hour, 2-hour green dot is printing money flow. Yeah, see how this money flow was coming up into the green, but the VWAP was coming down, right? So you came up into the green, or the blue in my case. Then the VWAP sucked you back down, but you likely are just going to get that fake out into the red and then come back into the green, right? So those are the next levels I'd look for on FTM. Again, gap between here and 26 cents. If we do get that push up, I think it could get you up here pretty quickly. And then you are basically looking to get back in. I'll just go ahead and pull this range as well. Looking to get above that 28 cent level, right? Wait a second. Hold up. Did I say 28 cents or 26 cents? 28 cents is where we're going, not 26. We're at 26. Anyway, if we get that move, I would expect it to be pretty quick. And then if you got to hop above this level, I would look for a move up to 30 cents. That would be your next high volume node comes in at about 30 cents. So I would look to fly through this low volume gap, potentially, right? And then get in this range, hit 30 cents. And then I would be looking for some potential rejections at that point because if we pull our local golden pocket, let's go from this high all the way to the low. Look at that, right? Yo, it's right by your 786, right in the middle of that area, guys. You do have your 786 golden pocket retracement levels, which is likely where price will get a move to the downside. So That is, yeah, that's what I would be looking at on FTM. A money flow does not look horrible on the lower time frames, especially on that 4-hour. I'd look for that 4-hour crossover. That's looking nice. And that daily green dot and the 90-minute money flow crossover is not looking too bad either. So if you continue up, I'd look to get a move into this purple box. I know it's white right now, but now it's purple. All right, let's go ahead and check out ADA, and then we'll check out Matic. Let's see. Check out ADA, looking very similar to the box we just drew on FTM. But let's see. Oh, God, you guys are cracking up. Frankie Rob won't let me be Gizmo. He's trying to make me the cross. What is Gizmo? Shout out to Dave Digital. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Oh, God. You guys are deep in it. Daffy Dave. Shout out to Dave. Oh, God. All right, I'm going to let you guys do your thing. I still need those fib settings. John Davis, check it out. There you go. If someone could drop that link to our Fibonacci video, I do show. Shout out to Harley, says Frankie for president. Let's go. I would never want to run for president. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. Oh, God. I always wonder. I mean, unless you're after the power, I don't understand. Like, if it's just like a power trip thing, I don't understand why anyone would want to be president of the United States. I just could never know. I just don't understand it. But anyway, there's the settings. You can screenshot these, but we do have a video. I'm sure Rob probably already shared it. But if you got, there it is. Look at that. Shout out to Rob. Unbelievable. Quickest fingers. Tyler Durden's the quickest hands in the West. Rob is the quickest fingers in Florida. I don't know what I'm saying, guys. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here. All right, so basically what we're looking for on Cardano, taking a look at the daily, green dot printing, not too bad. Money flow looks horrid, right? Money flow just looks the same on everything here, just dumping to the downside, not the best look, but your green dot is printing. Let's see if that 90-minute money flow is coming up. It is, and you're looking for a green dot. You might be able to get a continued move to the upside here on Cardano. Money flow cruising to the upside, looking for a crossover into the green. 12-hour VWAP looking to roll over on your 12-hour. 8-hour looking for the red dot. 6 hours probably printing it. There it is. Do we have a blood diamond? No blood diamond on the 6-hour. That is a decent sign. 5-hour, no blood diamond either. Oh, there's the blood diamond. There she goes. Confirmed. Didn't really play out too aggressively. Didn't play out too aggressively, but yeah, money flow kind of starting to work its way back to the upside. Yeah, money flow on these lower time frames actually, I mean, look at that. Your 2-hour creeping up with your VWAP also creeping up. 3-hour creeping up also with your VWAP creeping up, and your 4-hour also creeping to the upside. Low, higher low, higher low, looking for this to continue up. So yeah. These massive nukes to the floor are very hard to kind of analyze here, guys. I will be 100% honest. But, oh my God, this looks like such old TA. Yeah, this looks like old TA, man. I don't even know what this is. Interesting. But if I go ahead and extend this volume profile out a little bit, yeah, there we go. I would be looking at this, guys. If we get a further move to the upside, I would look for a push up into this value area low. I would actually extend this purple box. Yeah, I would look for a push up into this purple box. You have a local golden pocket here. You also have a 786 and your value area low, as well as it's basically just your next high volume node, right? So, actually, get rid of this golden pocket real quick. See if I can find some better confluence here. So you have your value area low. And let's see if we got a golden pocket that's a little bit more accurate here. Maybe from this high. Yeah, this is what I would be looking for. I would look for a push. Let me zoom out. Right? We have a pretty big gap here. Right? Look at this gap. If we break these highs, I'd look for a quick move up to about 30 cents where I would start to look for resistance or expect resistance. If we push up into the purple box, I would look for a rejection at that value area low. If you don't reject there and you go to flip this value area low to support, I would actually look for a pretty quick move back up to about 34 cents for Cardano. And there you go. Money flow on the 2, 3, and 4 hours actually don't look too bad, especially with the VWAPs coming up alongside them. All right, let's see. Yeah, Frankie, Zeus Cash says, Frankie for SEC chair. Hey, shout out to you, man. Nah, I'd rather do that than be the president, right? Like, just the whole world's, like, the whole country's problem is yours. I don't know. I never understood that. Like, that's why, like, I feel like every president obviously has self-interest. I feel like they need self-interest because they don't make a lot of money. I mean, they make a lot of money in the grand scheme of things, but not to be the president of the United States. You'd think they'd make more. I think they make, like, I mean, they do. I guess they make a lot of money, but not enough for the responsibility of being the president. I think they make, like, $400K a year. Or maybe over their whole term. I don't know, but it's not enough to deal with the world's problems. That's for sure. I'll tell you that. I could barely deal with my little individual problems. Come on. But let's see. Is it 144K? Interesting. Shout out to Dave. But let's see. Hex. Yeah, we can take a look at Hex real quick, guys. Let's see. We actually have Hex saved. Shout out to Dixon. Oh no, we used to have Hex saved. Where'd it go? Oh, it's right here. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, it went to 0. Okay. Why come every time we look at Hex, it goes to 0? I don't know why. Okay. Taking a look. I will say this, guys. If you look, like, every time Hex crashes, you get a heavy bounce, right? Like, even locally, right? Like, big dump, big bounce. Big dump, big bounce. Big dump, decent bounce. Big dump, not really the best bounce, but a decent bounce, right? And then, like, yeah, man, this has just been red candle after red candle after red candle. We're at the value area low. Just sitting at that low, guys. Bullish divergence on the daily has been confirmed at your value area low. I can't guarantee. I cannot guarantee that this is going to get a big bounce to the upside, but you got a daily bull div. Oh, God, it is looking to roll back over, guys. I'd be careful with Hex. I don't know. 16-hour. Looking for a red dot as well. 12-hour. This thing might not be done dumping, guys. Let me see. Take it to the 2-day. Yeah, God, man. You don't have really, yeah, I would be careful here. Your 2-day money flows in the red. Daily's getting nuked. 3-day money flow just crossed over into the red. Yeah, money flow, I mean, 4-day green dot. None of these green dots are bringing you up. That's what's making me nervous. I would be very careful with Hex. I would be very careful. I would be very shocked if you don't get a bounce to come in here somewhat soon, guys. Like, just do the laws of just price action. Like, you just basically been nuking with no relief whatsoever except for this, and this, and this. If you want to consider that, if you even want to consider that actual relief. But if you are able, I mean, let me see. Can we get some higher daily time frame bull divs? Nope, not going to get it on the 5-day. You're not going to get it on the 3-day. Not going to get it. I mean, geez. The daily is the, oh, hey, Mrs. Candles showing face. Hey, can you bring me the, oh, yeah, I'll take some cashews. Hey, why don't you put one of you. Oh, she rugged me on the cashews. You believe that, guys? All right, will you put it in my hand? Yeah, what do you want? Just a cashew. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mrs. Candles. We appreciate you. I actually don't want cashews. That was just for the bit. But anyway, God, you're... All right, well, anyway, continuing on, guys, I would be careful with Hex. This daily bull div, if anything is going to give you a move to the upside, that daily bull div at your value area low would be the thing to do it, except it's already been confirmed. And it looks like you might print another red dot in about 50 minutes, and it might invalidate that bull div. I would look for that. If you get that red dot on the daily, I'd be very careful on that daily bull div. Like, it's not very often that I say, like, I usually say, hey, daily bull divs are very rarely never going to give you a move, right? Like, when you get a daily bull div, even if it's not going to give you a big move, typically it'll give you something. This gave you nothing. So if you print a red dot right after this green dot, I would be very careful with Hex. But yeah, if you do wind up getting a bounce, the next major level that I would look for some resistance, I would obviously be very, very, very conservative here with your resistance. I would look for a potential move into our next high volume node coming in at about 1 cent. So if we get a bounce, I'd look for a rejection right here. But there you go. You do have somewhat of a gap, right? Next major level of resistance probably going to come in right here at about 0.017 cents. And you basically got gaps, right? So that move up could happen very quickly to here. And then if you get above this, you might get another quick move here. But those are basically levels I look for on Hex. I wish I can go a little bit more in detail here. I sold all my Hex for Pulse Chain a while ago. Shout out to Dixon. Let's go. You might have dodged a bullet there, my man. But shout out to the Hex community. But yeah, that's what I'd be looking at on Hex. I wish I can go a little bit more in depth or be a little more clear, but it's just looking pretty blurry. So there you go. All right, let's continue on here, guys. I am going to hop off a little bit early tonight. Cashews are the optimal nut, most easy to digest. Dixon, is that true? Shout out to Dixon. Is that true? Hey, Deezy's in the house. Dahal, Dave, call the cops on Dahal. I don't know if I'm saying your name right, Dahal. I apologize, but I also apologize. Dave's going to call the cops on you real quick. Dave, call the police on him. I'm just kidding. Shout out to Dahal. Deezy in the house. Guys, I swear Mrs. Candles is real. I swear. She's not inflatable. And she's definitely not Deezy. I swear. Shout out to Mrs. Deezy. I'm Candles. Anyway, continuing on. All right, let's continue on. Oh, good. Thank you, Frankie. No problem. Shout out to Dixon. Shout out to Servanta. Oh, God. All right. Okay, I'm addicted to chat right now. Anyway, guys, moving on. Let's go ahead and take a look at Matic, as Matic is looking kind of interesting here. Let's go ahead and clear the drawings and take a look. Now, let's see. I'm going to pull a range. Where's the lows? Right here. Bing, bong. Okay. All right. Daily green dot is printing. Not confirmed just yet. Taking a look at the lower time frames. 90-minute money flow has crossed over into the green. We are looking for another potential green dot. 2-day looking for the green dot as well. No divergence, unfortunately. I really would have loved to see that daily bull div or even that 2-day bull div. Not getting it on any of these time frames, unfortunately. But, oh, God, man, these just... Yeah, 6-hour looking for the red dot. 5-hour printing the red dot. Likely a blood diamond there. No? Okay. On the 5-hour. No blood diamond. No blood diamond. Okay. Okay. But, yeah, guys. 4-hour red dot. I mean, this is kind of choppy. I'm not going to lie. This looks like it wants to roll right back to the upside. But I will say this. Zooming out. Pretty big gap, right? I'm just going to go ahead and draw a box for this gap, right? Basically from here, I would say from here to here, basically is going to be a low volume gap or an LVG. That's what we like to call it. LVG, right? So if we break above that level, guys, we could see a quick move up to about 73, 74 cents, between 72 and 74 cents. I would even argue that you could make it up to about 75 cents. I'm actually going to move that box. Yeah, I would look for a move up to about 75 cents if you can get the move. Looking at the indicators. Yeah, VWAP coming up on the 1 hour. See, the one thing is here, the 5, 6, and 8 hours look like they want to come back down. So I'd be careful. I don't think you're going to get this move right now. But if you do get a move, you're looking to break this level here at about 6 cents or 66 cents. If you could break that level, I would look for a quick move up to about 72 to 75 cents. And you're likely to hit some resistance there. However, your next highest volume node, at least locally. Yeah, I mean, that's really what I would look for right there. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. But again, be careful of some pullback. Be careful of some pullbacks in the near future, in more of the short term. Just because of the way these VWAPs look on the lower time frames, right? Your 5-hour printing that red dot, 4-hour also printing that red dot, or is that confirmed? Yeah, it's confirmed. I would be careful here. Man, I think you range around, but if you can get that move up, I'd watch that volume gap for sure. All right, let's see. Let's see. I think, guys, that is going to be all. I meant to get off early last night because I had a bunch of stuff to get done. But We wound up running, I think, overtime. We wound up doing a super long stream. But so I'm going to actually go ahead and wrap it up there, guys. It's not too soon. It's not too early here, but I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there, guys. But let's go ahead and spin that wheel of pain and pleasure first. Almost forgot about the best part of the stream, the free stuff. Let's see. All right, bada boom, bada bing. Here we go. Let me bring up that chat. Let's see. Hey, what's going on, Ryman? Randman. Shout out to Randman. Great stream, Frankie. Thank you, Creighton. I appreciate you for being here, man. Thanks for the sauce, Frankie. No problem, guys. If you learned something or found this stream in any way entertaining or valuable, go ahead and smash that like button. Let us know that you enjoy the content because it's nice to know. That's basically it, and it helps support the channel, and it's free. Shout out to you guys. But let's go ahead and let's you guys are funny. Oh, God. Shout out to the CandleMafia. Shout out to Darren. Thank you for being here, bro. Let's go ahead and spin that wheel. Did we get 550? I see the 5 on the screen there. Oh, 563 likes, guys. We're spinning the wheel 15 dang times. Let's go. Shout out to the Mafia. Not even really that popping of a stream, and we hit our like goal somehow. Very, very interesting. I appreciate you guys all for being here and smashing that like button. Shout out to Zeus Cash. I appreciate you. Ziva Crypto. Shout out to you, man. Let's see. I'm throwing some of the footage from the mosh pit in the off-topic channel in the Discord, guys. Go check that. Oh, God. That means I'm going to know what Rob the Crypto Snob looks like? I don't know if I'm ready to know yet. I don't know if I'm ready to know what you look like yet, dude. Mafia loves you, Frankie. I love you back, Creighton C. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. All right. Let's continue on. Let's see. Back at 52 cents. Yeah. Yep. Back at 52, baby. Back at 52. Give him a giveaway, baby. Let's go. Let's see. Leon said, shut your mouth. This stream was lit. Oh, shout out to Leon. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Shout out to you, man. I guess it was pretty lit. I mean, yesterday, it's so hard for me to gauge what a lit stream is. Yesterday, I ran around the studio. I literally got up and ran around the studio. I forget why. But yeah, sometimes I follow lots of TA streams, but I've learned the most from the Franklin Candelabra Company. Shout out to Wick589. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you. Rob the Crypto Mosh. Shout out to Helen's favorite Dutch. Shout out to you guys. You're funny. 1740 laps, bro. That's what it was. It was ETH being at 1740. That was why we were doing the laps. The reason we were so excited that ETH went to 1740 was because we were looking at that on the night, the streams prior, expecting the volume profile to play out and bring us down to 1740. And when you trust in the volume profiles, they hit more often than they don't. And when it hit, I was just feeling lit. And it was hit, I was lit, and we ran around and did a couple laps. But yeah, that was fire. Let's see. The Franklin Candelabra Company is funny. I love that. They do call me Franklin Candelabra. Frankie Fibonacci, I got a bunch of good names. Frankie Fibonacci, Frankie the VPVR, you know what I'm saying. He's Dutch, gonna look like the dude in red bad. Shout out to Creighton C. Frankinashi, yeah, shout out to David Brumbelow. Frankinashi candles, yep, 100%. Let's see, too funny. Eric, shout out to Eric. John Davis said the bing bongs, Frankie. Bing bong. Bing bong. Let's go. Always watching candles. Shout out to Crypto Maniac. I appreciate everybody who's tuned in tonight. You guys are the absolute best. Dave Digital. He said, dang it, Frankie. I don't know why. Let's see. Did we miss a chat from Dave? I don't see one. Dave. Shout out to Dave. Trollex, let's go. Shout out to Trollex. That's a good name. I like that. FCU. Shout out to Nemesis. Flat Smack in the chat. Not going to say what he said, but shout out to Flat Smack. One of your names. That's one of my names? Dang it, Frankie. I like it. It's Mrs. Candles. That's what Mrs. Candles calls me. Hey, Servando Estrada in the chat. What is going on, bro? Said, what did I win? Hey, Servando, you won my heart. You won my heart, man. We got one more spin, baby. This is a pretty fire wheel right now. Hi from Australia. I'm pumped. Looking at you. I'm pumped. Looking at you being pumped. Shout out to Victor. Shout out to Victor Pat. Hey, bro, my energy will transfer to you on these live streams. So if you're looking to feel hype, just come on onto our live stream and I'll throw a couple thousand for you, baby. Let's go. Bing bong. Let's go. Shout out to you guys. But there we go. How many giveaways did we get? I guess we didn't really end that early. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 out of 14, guys. Not too bad. I think I counted an extra one potentially there, but 8 out of... Wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, we're right. 9 giveaways. Let's go, baby. This week is going to be a pretty long giveaway. We're going to be giving away a lot of stuff, guys. And we are adding a Frankie Candles hat. That's for you, mods. We will be adding a Frankie Candles hat to that giveaway. Frankie's energy and sauce is on fire. Shout out to Ziva Crypto. Guys, with all that being said, I think that's all the time I got for today's market update. I think that's all the time I got for today's live stream. I appreciate you guys all for being here. Don't forget, we will be doing the FOMC stream tomorrow. Also, part of the reason I am hopping off early, I want to try to get to bed early and get everything I need to get done tonight so I don't have to go to bed super late because I was pretty shot this morning. I really got to start going to bed early. But I want to be all hyped for those streams for you guys. So stick around for tomorrow's FOMC stream. We will be putting it up early, so the notification will pop up early for you guys if you have the notification bell clicked. Not sure exactly what time we're going to actually go live, but again, click the notification bell. It's not me trying to ploy you to click the notification bell. Sure, it helps us, but for real, not sure exactly how early we're going to go on yet because we don't typically do these. We're just starting to do them. So, yeah. There you go. Coffee and candles. Let's go. Yeah, guys. Shout out to Darren. We are starting to think a little bit, as we start to ramp up, we are still in the, I think we might start doing morning streams, not tomorrow or next week, but we might start building up to it towards the, as things start to ramp up back in the market, we get closer to the halving. I want to be able to get that morning crew and the night crew because I get a constant, like one of the number one comments I get is, man, I wish these streams were earlier so I can catch them. We have a lot of people in different time zones, so I think we might restructure things where we'll always have the 5:45 p.m. live stream, but we may do like a short morning show, and we'll flip it around. We'll change it a little bit to make it super interesting. But with all that being said, guys, I appreciate you all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys from the bottom of my heart, and I will see you here during the FOMC meeting and tomorrow, same place, same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATB. Shout out to my boy DZ. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Tyler Ramos.
Real quick, shout out to Eric Bonici. Hopefully I said your name right, bro. Eric Bonici says, oh, and thank you to everyone in the Discord who is so helpful. Shout out to the free Discord, guys. If you're not in our free Discord, go to the description down below, click on our free Discord link, and get in. It's full of value. A bunch of amazing traders in there. If you are just starting your trading journey, any of 323 of you guys, if you are just starting your trading journey, one of the best things I can recommend to you is getting into a Discord. I'm not even going to push the paid Discord. I push you towards the free Discord because if you're just starting, it's a free way to get around other people doing what you want to do every single day. So they can definitely help you avoid all the beginner mistakes, right? Likely a lot of people in there have already made the beginner mistakes, and they can help you steer clear, and it might speed up your learning process. It's one of the number one things that I wish I did when I first started trading was I wish I found trading Discords first, because when you watch all these YouTube videos, sometimes you just want to ask people a question, and there are some really knowledgeable people in the free Discord. So get in there if you're not already. And with all that being said, shout out to the Candle Mafia. I love each and every single one of you. That's all the time I got for tonight's stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATB. Shout out to my boy DZ. That's all I got. Frank Candles out. Bing bong.